Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide.
The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, suggested he will work with lawmakers on potential sanctions against the ICC, calling the ICC's decision profoundly wrong-headed. The ICC's relationship with Africa.
I've had some elected leaders speak to me and be very blunt. This court is built for Africa and for thugs like Putin, was what one senior leader told me.
Africa feels targeted, rightly or wrongly. It's like only African leaders are being arraigned before the ICC.
But why is America so frustrated towards the ICC? Let's talk about America's frustration. Even though the ICC can investigate, it does not have the power to enforce its warrant. It's like comparing a hand grenade to an atomic bomb. Not the same thing. In the front end, we all know America as a superpower that comes in and say, nah, this country is a problem country, we need to liberate you and all that type of shit. But in the back end, we all know when they say liberate, that means that they have seen something in that country that they like. They want to liberate and put somebody there that they can control. The US frustration may stem from the challenge of balancing support for Israel with the pursuit of justice. Oh my God, here we go again. Here we go again. Hello everybody, welcome to the Dummy Effect. Welcome to episode 23. Before we start the video, I just want to point something out. I just want you to have this in the back of your mind while you go through this video, while you watch or listen to this video, okay? We are living in an animal farm and not all animals are equal. We are living in an animal farm and not all animals are equal. So I just want you to have that in the back of your mind while we go through this video, because if you have that in the back of your mind, this video is going to make a lot of sense. Okay, this week, what happened in the news that we thought was like trending topic, you know? The ICC, the International Criminal Court. The ICC has been in the news recently regarding an arrest warrant. You know, okay, calm down, everybody. Calm down your horses. It's not about Africa. It's for somebody else. That's the reason why there's a big fuss, because it's not about Africa. Because if it's about Africa, nobody's going to say anything. Everybody's just going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just a normal thing. It would be understandable if you thought the arrest warrant was for somebody in Africa. Because, you know, France, America, and its counterparts have been in one or two entanglements in Africa, namely in Niger, in Burkina Faso, and other places on the continent. We all know how these people get when they come to Africa. When they come to Africa, it's either they get something. If they can't get their way, then they find another way. And the other way, usually the other way comes with locking people up or killing people. But let's not jump into that. We're going to talk about Africa and its relationship with the ICC very soon. So trust me, that's the most interesting part. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The International Criminal Court is in the news because of an arrest warrant that has been applied for. Well, who is the criminal, or who are the criminals? According to the latest information available, the ICC's chief prosecutor Karim Khan has applied for an arrest warrant for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. Even though they are not the only ones, but the fact that the two of them are in the whole thing is the whole reason why America is going crazy, because we're gonna see. I don't want to spill too much before time. The following are the topics that we're going to be looking at on this episode 23. We're going to talk about the ICC, the arrest warrants for Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu and the others, their charges, and why America is so butthurt about Mr. Khan's announcement for the warrants, for the arrest warrants. And lastly, the most important part, actually, we're going to talk about Africa's relationship with the ICC. All right, so what is the International Criminal Code? What is the International Criminal Code? What does it do? Very important. What or who was it made for? Let's first get the introduction of the ICC. The ICC is a permanent judicial body established by the Rome Statute in 1998. It is tasked with investigating, prosecuting, and trying individuals accused of the most serious crimes of international concern. These are crimes like genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. This is the first permanent treaty-based international criminal court to prevent these crimes from happening again by ensuring that those responsible are held accountable. This is basically saying, the English is very plain. The ICC investigates and, where warranted, tries individuals charged with the gravest crimes like genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. Let's actually define this so we can understand what these crimes actually are. Let's start with genocide. Genocide, coined by Raphael Lemkin in 1944, it refers to the intentional and systemic destruction of a group of people based on their ethnicity, nationality, religion, or race. All right. Number two, war crimes. It refers to the violation of the laws of war. The violations of the laws of war during armed conflict, such as intentionally killing civilians, torture, taking hostage hostages, and pillaging. That's the word of the day, pillaging. It means to steal using violence. Crimes against humanity. These are acts committed as part of a widespread and systemic attack against civilians, including torture, sexual violence, and other inhumane acts. Crimes of aggression, the last one, crimes of aggression. It is the not pillaging. It is the planning, preparation, and initiation or execution of a large-scale and serious act of aggression using state military force. It's the kind of crime that only people, the top people with the most power, have the power to do, basically. Not just anybody can do this type of crime because not anybody has access to the military like that. So it only makes sense that these people, the people that are involved, get arrested or prosecuted and type shit. So those are the crimes that the ICC tries to prevent from happening again, which means in the world right now, if any country or anybody, nobody's above the law, if anybody tries to do these crimes, they are definitely going to be persecuted. It doesn't matter who you are. If you do shit like this, as long as you're a member of the ICC, you are fighting a war with a member of the ICC, you're definitely going to be judged or investigated. As of November 2023, there are 124 member states of the ICC. However, America and Israel are not member states, which brings up the question, since America and Israel are not member states of the ICC, the International Criminal Court, do the ICC have jurisdiction to investigate the situation between Hamas and Israel? The simple answer is yes. For one, because Palestine is a member of the ICC and it has been a member since January 2015. And secondly, because the state of Palestine referred the situation to the ICC prosecutors, which means they definitely have to investigate now. The referral was related to crimes alleged to have been committed in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem since the 13th of June 2014. And on the 3rd of March 2021, the ICC prosecutors announced the opening of the investigation to the situation between Israel and Hamas. In May of this year, just last month, the chief prosecutor of the ICC requested an arrest warrant for the top leaders of Israel and Hamas over war crimes allegedly committed during this war. Isn't that the craziest thing, that you take your own case to the ICC and say, okay, ICC, this is what is happening. So apparently, allegedly, the Israelis, no, this is what they're saying, not that it's not alleged for them, but they're saying, the Jewish people are doing this to my people. This is what they're doing. There's some crimes that you don't want. There are certain crimes that you say you are trying to prevent, and these people are doing it in my country. These people are actually causing these crimes in my country. So I want you to come in and do your investigation. But then these people come in and say, okay, the two of you are guilty, which is what happened. Here are the charges. Israel's charges. Accused leaders Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. War crimes. Starvation of civilians causing suffering. Willful killing that you kill anyhow, just kill people anyhow that you want, and attacks on civilians. Crimes against humanity. Extermination. Damn. Extermination. Bro. This time we only know of extermination when you're trying to kill these small bugs or insects in the house, like roaches. If you have roaches, you exterminate them, you kill them all. Seeing this used for humans in context with humans is crazy, Crimes against humanity, extermination, persecution, and other inhumane acts. Evidence. Intentionally depriving Gaza civilians of essential items for survival. Hamaz charges. Accused leaders Yahya Sinwar, Ismail Haniyeh, and Mohammed Daif. War crimes. Taking hostages, cruel treatment, and outrages against personal dignity. Crimes against humanity. This word again. Extermination, murder, rape, torture, and other inhumane acts. It is also very, very important to note that even though the ICC can investigate, it does not have the power to enforce its warrants. That's crazy. Or compel states to cooperate, especially states like Israel, who is not a member of the ICC. So the question is, but why is America so frustrated towards the ICC? Let's talk about America's frustration. Of course, when the ICC chief prosecutor Karim Khan announced his request for the arrest of both the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Hamas leader in Gaza, Yahya Sinwar, America showed its frustration because of the Israeli Prime Minister, not because of the other person. They don't give a fuck about that person. Instead, they want that person to be gone. They want that person to be locked up. The American President Joe Biden, described the move to apply for an arrest warrant as outrageous, emphasizing that there is no equivalent between Israel and Hamas.
Let me be clear. We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. And it's clear Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that. We will always stand with Israel and the threats against its security.
Which low-key kind of means that Israel did nothing wrong. But you know, if we really look deep down into this whole thing, of course they are not equivalent. The equivalence is not equivalenting. Because if we look at it clearly, Israel clearly has more power, especially with the help of the United States of America. It has more killing power, more destructive power.
Yeah. More than 70% of Gaza's homes are no longer fit for living. Scenes like this are repeated across Gaza. Most hospitals have been put out of service. Last month, Israel demolished the last standing university, and at least 350 schools have been destroyed. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million Palestinians have been made homeless, don't have access to proper health care, and can no longer get an education. Israel's bombardment sits among the deadliest and most destructive in modern history. And the UN says it could take until the closing years of the century for Gaza's economy to regain its pre-war size if hostilities were to stop immediately. But the war is still ongoing.
Especially with the help of the United States of America. It has more killing power, more destructive power, while Hamas does only like surface level type damages. So the two powers are not the same. It's like comparing a hand grenade to an atomic bomb. Not the same thing. But the thing is, if we focus too much on this equivalence debate, we are going to miss the devastating humanitarian consequences that are happening to civilians on both sides. Thousands of lives are being lost, infrastructures are being destroyed, crazy. Tall buildings are leveled to the ground, and the communities are being displaced. Communities are being displaced because people are dying. There's no way, there's no infrastructure. People are dying, so why are you community? What makes a community? A community is a group of people in a given environment. But if there's no environment and there's no people, the fuck are you doing in that place? Move. Meanwhile, in Israel, protesters still have full body strength to protest aid from getting to struggling civilians in Gaza.
Here in Israel, some blocking a border crossing today. Family groups with their babes in arms, determined to stop aid that is desperately needed by families in Gaza.
New video shows some Israeli settlers blocking trucks and tossing aid packages that were headed for Gaza.
So apparently they're not the same. On one side, people are dying, infrastructures are being destroyed, people are just moving, people don't even know where they're going to. And on the other side, they have full body strength to protest food from getting into Gaza to help people that are there. The US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, suggested he will work with lawmakers on potential sanctions against the ICC, calling the ICC's decision profoundly wrong-headed. Like their head is not in the right place, their head is in the wrong area. They are not supposed to be, their head is supposed to be facing a different direction, not that direction. You can't be facing the direction of white people. You should be focusing the direction of different people. And also the US Congress is pushing to impose sanctions on the ICC officials. They want to block their entry into the US, revoke any current visas, any current US visas they hold. Nah, you're not allowed into the country. Prohibiting them from any property transactions within their country. Damn, somebody struck a nerve. That's crazy. That's why so emotional? Why are they so butthurt? This kind of feels like Israel is the capital of America, don't you think? Because it makes no sense, especially when America has backed previous persecutions, even though we know now that they are not members of the ICC, but previously they have been backing other persecutions. The ICC's arrest warrants for Russia's President Vladimir Putin over the war in Ukraine. So whenever it's going their way, they are yay, but when it's not going their way, they are it's crazy. So here are the reasons why this whole thing is causing so much frustration for America. Here are the reasons. International relations tension. The ICC's move has intensified tension between Israel and the international community. True, because everybody is against Israel and Israel is against everybody, I guess. The United States, as a close ally of Israel, is concerned about the implications of the arrest warrant on diplomatic relations and regional stability. Let's look at number one, Netanyahu's status. Benjamin Netanyahu is a prominent political figure and prime minister of Israel. The ICC's application for this arrest warrant signals a serious accusation against a sitting or former head of state. The US may be frustrated because it complicates their diplomatic efforts in the region. Why but I don't understand why the serious accusation part. Why? Is it because they're white? Okay, that what I just said right now is gonna make more sense when I talk about the Africans relationship with the ICC. So stay tuned, like I said. All right, number 2, legal implications. The ICC has no enforcement mechanism and relies on its member states to make arrest. If an arrest warrant is issued, countries like the United Kingdom and Germany, which have cooperation agreement with the ICC, could be legally obliged to detain Benjamin Netanyahu if he enters their territory, which, by the way, are part of NATO members, including America as well. This legal obligation I understand now, and I kind of understand why America is so pissed off. This legal obligation creates a delicate situation for the US, which values its strategic relationship with Israel. It's kind of crazy because on one hand, they're trying to keep their relationship with Israel. They're trying to keep that relationship perfect. But on the other hand, also, Germany and the United Kingdom are part of NATO. So if this arrest warrant actually goes through and it's approved, it means if Mr. Netanyahu enters Germany or enters the UK, he's gonna be apprehended. He's gonna be arrested, and it's gonna be crazy now because America would not want them to capture the Israeli prime minister, but they have to capture the Israeli prime minister because they are also part of the ICC. That's mad. I now understand why America is so pissed off. Number 3, complex conflict context. The Gaza conflict involves multiple parties, including Hamas, Israel, and civilians caught in the crossfire. The ICC investigation aims to hold individuals accountable for alleged crimes committed during this conflict. The US frustration may stem from the challenge of balancing support for Israel with the pursuit of justice. Where are they going to stand? Israel, justice. Which are you going to stand? Because we all know America as that superpower. I mean, in the front end, we all know America as that superpower that comes in and say, nah, this country is a problem country. We need to liberate you and all that type of shit. But in the back end, we all know when they say liberate, that means that they have seen something in that country that they like. They want to liberate and put somebody there that they can control. Because I really don't feel like they are worried about picking a side, because I feel like they already picked a side. Number 4, geopolitical sensitivity. The Middle East is a geopolitical sensitive region, and any action related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict can have broader implications. The US must navigate its interests in the region while addressing international legal norms and human rights concerns. So basically, the ICC's arrest warrants for Mr. Netanyahu have put the US in a hot pot of soup, in a delicate position. That is, they'll be trying to balance their alliance with Israel and also international justice. The frustration arises from the complexity of managing these competing interests. I guess I know why. Okay, I guess I know why they're angry or frustrated now, because they were actually forced to pick a side. Bro, it sucks. It sucks to be America right now, but hey, they have clearly made their choice. Their choice have been made. We can't be mad at that. They have made their choice, but I guess that's the reason why they're angry, right? They were forced to pick a side, and they picked a side. So the most important part of the whole thing, the ICC's relationship with Africa, or Africa and the ICC, however you want to put it. So I always try to bring this thing and see where Africa is being cheated, because I know Africa has always been cheated, but in every situation that happens, I always try to look at the point where Africa was cheated, and this is what I'm trying to talk about right now. So ICC and Africa. African states saw the ICC as part of the solution to international crime, embracing the ICC's idea and joining in large numbers, with 33 member states from the African continent. These African states also refer situations to its prosecutors for investigation. However, since its establishment, the International Criminal Court has tried 31 cases, that's in general, and 30 of those cases involve Africans or African individuals. And the ICC has had 10 convictions in general. Those are the conviction rate. They have had 10 convictions. Here are the convictions and the names of the people. Here are the people that were convicted convicted and their crimes. Number 1, Thomas Lubanda Diallo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, convicted of war crimes for conscripting and enlisting children under the ages of 15 and using them to participate actively in hostilities. Number 2, Germain Katanga, Democratic Republic of the Congo, found guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity, including murder and pillaging. Number 3, Jean-Pierre Bemba Gombo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, initially convicted for war crimes and crimes against humanity, but later acquitted on appeal. Number 4, Ahmed Al-Faqi Al-Mahdi, I don't know if I did the name justice, but it's alright. He's a Malian, pleaded guilty of war crimes of intentionally directing attacks against religious and historic buildings in Timbuktu, Mali. Aliou Kuzia, Liberia, convicted of war crimes in Liberia during the First Liberian Civil War. Dominic Ongwen, Ugandan, convicted of 61 counts of crimes against humanity and war crimes including murder, torture, and sexual slavery. Bosco Taganda, Congolese and Rwandan, found guilty of 18 counts of war crimes, crimes against humanity, including murder, rape, and recruiting child soldiers. Laurent Gbagbo, Ivorian, acquitted of all charges of crimes against humanity. Charles Bleu Goudet, Ivorian, acquitted alongside Laurent Gbagbo of crimes against humanity. Matthew Ngujolo Chui, Democratic Republic of the Congo, acquitted of charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. What do they all have in common? I want to ask you before I continue. What do they all have in common? They are all Africans, my brother. Don't stress your brain. They are all Africans. You know, I was stating their countries as well. If you think this is a coincidence that these people are all Africans, you have to be the dumbest person in the whole world. That's not even a joke. I'm not lying to you. I'm not joking. All right. You have to be the dumbest person ever on earth, because just take a closer look at the countries that we're talking about. Congo alone has like how many convictions? It's all related to minerals. You see that they are the only ones, the black people or these people that I just mentioned, they are the only ones that were convicted, but these crimes were not committed just by them. It was also committed by the white people that they were doing business with. The white people were also part of the whole shebang. Sneaky motherfuckers. Sadly enough, we have seen this time and again in Africa. Let's not act dumb, okay? The outsiders who come in without really coming in, that's using secret agents, come in, cause problems, step out, let the problem simmer, let the problem simmer. You know when you are cooking food and you keep it on the fire to simmer for a little bit before you come now and then you do some other things. So they come into the country, cause problems, the problems simmer, and then they step back in. They step back in, point fingers, you are the cause of this, you are the cause of this, that they get people assassinated, get people kicked out, get people killed, or even get people convicted in this case using the ICC. And then they prep another person they know they can actually control to put that person in power. The circle continues. All I'm saying is, guys, let's not be dumb. The ICC seems to have been made specifically for Africans. It is supposed to be IACC, International African Criminal Court. The A is silent. It feels like these people only respect the ICC's judgment when African leaders are on the chopping board. I don't know if you've seen the video where Mr. Karim Khan was saying that.
I've had some elected leaders speak to me and be very blunt. This court is built for Africa and for thugs like Putin, was what one senior leader told me.
You've had 30 cases. You have 31 cases, sorry. You have 31 cases, and 30 of those cases involve African individuals and 10 convictions. All of your convictions have been African leaders or African people in power. Is Africa the only place where war is being fought? Wars are being fought in other places. Why is Africa always picked on?
Africa feels targeted, rightly or wrongly. It's like only African leaders are being arraigned before the ICC. And so Africa feels
with
targeted.
Africa's support.
It is correct to say that most of our cases, or all of our cases at the moment, are in Africa. But that is not the whole picture, Tim.
The International Criminal Court, from its own record of the work that has been done since the Rome Statute was adopted, shows clearly, with no shadow of a doubt, that it is a court created for Africans, and it is used mostly by Europe to manipulate African politics.
Thank you. I swear to you, before I even play, I didn't even know this video existed. I didn't know this video before I even played it. I was actually looking for something else before I saw this video. I was like, no, I'll play this when I say things, the thing that I wrote here. right? I didn't know this video existed. This shows you that people have been seeing this. Africans have been seeing this. Apparently, Europeans or those people outside of Africa, they don't see it.
You cannot tell me.
Where does the ICC chief prosecutor come from?
Where is a white man? Where is the white man convicted by this court from the moment it started? Are you telling me there are no crimes in parts where people have a lighter skin? We don't believe in that.
Minister,
court.
should we
That's
look,
why
should we look at the facts?
We never wanted to belong to the Rome Statute.
Should we look at the facts? You're losing Africa's participation in this court.
I don't think I am losing
That's a central
Africa.
blow to the credibility of this court.
Fuck your blow.
I do not think that the voices of a few leaders or a few people from Africa should be used to disregard the support that we still have in Africa.
Because why is America so butthurt? Why is America so emotional, so sensitive, so frustrated when they say Israel committed crimes against humanity, war crimes and all that stuff? Why are they so mad? Nobody was frustrated when African leaders were brought in front of the same court and accused of certain things. I'm not saying they didn't do it, but if you did the crime, you should do the time. It makes it feel like some people are above the law. We all see what is happening in Gaza. So why is this such a big deal? If not because of the fact that we don't think white leaders can also commit crime. They do not care about us. I'm talking to all the non-white people right now. The earlier we realize we are living in an animal farm and not all animals are equal. They're better for all of us. Bye-bye. See you in the next one.